Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Midnight Chillings Coffee Talk. If you didn't catch last episode, you can watch it right here if you didn't already. But a little notice, if you are right now sleepy, please go to sleep as soon as you can, because sleep is very important for you. So please, go to sleep whenever you can, you know? Please do. It is very important. But anyway, welcome back to the Evening Whispers. Today is Monday, September 28th, 2020. Werewolves representative pushed the ministry for more accessible sedative. Fair enough. Doctor from Salaktown arrested for experimenting with child cloning. Oh. Military personnel stationed along East Coast to prevent immigrants flooding in from the Atlantic. Okay. Are you sure that would be okay? Yes! I mean, it would be really hard to pull off, but it's something that'll make the story different. Different isn't always good. It's a neat concept, but you need to handle it carefully and gracefully. I know. What were they talking about? Hey, Gayla. Excuse me. Hey, Gayla. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Mr. Gayla. Am I interrupting? It looked like you were having an intense discussion. It's nothing. Tigo was just giving me feedback. It's for the book I'm writing. Sounds like a heavy discussion. What are you up to tonight? I'm just planning to sit and relax. Please don't let my presence interrupt you. Oh, don't worry about it. Although I need to interrupt Tigo for a moment. Sure, how can I help you? Can I have a cup of... You remember my remedy? Of course. Do you want to give it a try again? My last order didn't quite hit the spot. Remember, it's tea and ginger. The last thing is definitely different ingredient from either of those. Okay. Remember, it has tea and ginger. Tea, ginger, and... What did we have unlocked? It's 100% not mint and cinnamon. Maybe milk or honey. I'm going with honey. Because we have to think about, we could have made it already, but nope. There's probably the last one that we made. Maybe milk. Could be. Ginger milk tea. No. Tea, ginger and lemon. Could it be? I don't know. Ginger, no. You know what? I may just search for the recipe. Or we... No, you know what? We'll try once again. One more time. With just green tea. Maybe it's green tea. You don't know. It could be. No. We only have one more time to trash it. Okay. I'm gonna search the recipe. Okay, so according to Google, it's tea, milk, and ginger. Wait, it doesn't matter in what order it is? What? Shout out to all gamers, or this one. Do you see it? I don't know if you see it. Whatever. Blog.hyperx.com is where I got the recipe from. Okay. Why does it matter that it is in a certain order? What? Judging from the smell, this looks like it. Indeed. I have the same feeling. I've made a note of the mixture. Perfect. Anyway, please don't mind me and continue with your discussion. Don't worry, Mr. Gala, we're done for the night. You're done. I have a lot of new homework thanks to you. You're welcome. Is Hyde coming? No, I'm by myself tonight. It's gonna be a peaceful night then. That's mean, Freya. Oh, come on, I was just joking. He needs to learn how to communicate his thoughts nicely, though. He might not look like it, but he's a very kind person, you know? He doesn't show it, that's for sure. And that applies to you as well. Ah, come on. Someone is coming? Oh, it's Bailey's. What was Bailey's his voice again? Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Mr. Bailey's. Hey, how are you doing, Freya? Not good. What's wrong? What's going on? Tycho is just criticizing my story. It's called feedback. It's cruel. It's necessary. Sounds interesting. What's the problem with the story? The story is non-linear and quite complicated. Imagine a chose your own adventure storybook, but for adults. Sounds pretty common so far. But instead of telling you which page to turn to, each decision you make will give you a score. What? That score will determine which page you should go to. Oh, like that. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Ladies and gentlemen, please, do not forget to hydrate. Hydration is important even in the night. So definitely don't forget, you know. And it's also good for a sore throat. That sounds more like a video game than a book. I know, it's not that original, but my target here is the mainstream audience. Huh? With the help of my publisher, this kind of book may go mainstream. Just like that Choose Your Own Adventure show on Netstream. It was nothing new, but because of the marketing and the names involved, it reached the mainstream market. That sounds interesting and highly ambitious, Freya. At least it's simpler than my other idea. Which is? Making the novel not in the form of a book, but in the form of a story cards. What? I know, right? As if she has all the time in the world, and that's before even considering the sensitive issue of setting the story in a world where only humans exist. What did you say? No, there's a reason why it has to be that way. Just wait until I've finished it, okay? Alright, alright. As Tycho said though, I won't have the time. Getting a normal pitch approved is already a steep climb. Let's not make the mountain even higher. Fair enough. What's the story all about, by the way? You'll have to wait for it. Don't want to spoil the fun. If you say so. Anyway, I haven't ordered anything. What do you want to drink tonight? Ginger latte. If you know how to make it. Ginger latte. I have a feeling we have made that before. Gala head. Ginger latte. Oh. Alright. I mean, what does a latte... Oh. That's a ginger latte, probably. You never know. Milk, ginger, coffee. Fuck. What is in here, Gala? Veteran, now working in a hospital. We kinda already knew, right? Evening whispers. Let's check our evening whispers. And also, let's check out that site again. Ginger latte. Ginger latte. Coffee ginger milk. Why does it matter what way? Oh my god. The Anxious Boy and His Love Stories on Public Transport. Freya Fatima, 28th September 2020. The day was hot, sunny and humid, just like most days in Jakarta. I was standing inside the crowded bus, neither functioning air conditioning nor proper ventilation, trying to keep myself productive in the uncomfortable environment by reading my recently bought copy of Maruki Harukami, The Elephant Vanishes, while listening to a random playlist on my old iPod. Despite the hellish conditions, you could say I was luckier than most because I was standing near the rear door of the bus, leaning my back on the side of a seat, safe enough not to fall out of the bus, breezy enough to breathe freely. Oh, that's a very good one. As mentioned, I was on a public bus in Jakarta, so naturally I needed to wary with my surroundings, mostly keeping my belongings secure from pickpockets and other human pests. I glanced around the bus several times in between pages, and that was when I saw her. It's hard to describe her. She has no specific characteristic to differentiate her from other women. She was like the perfect example of the girl you walk past unseeing on the sidewalk every day, a girl you might glance at for a second, then a few steps later it would be hard even to remember her hair color. Never mind what her eyes, her nose, her mouth looked like. She was standing near the front door of the bus, not leaning on anything or anyone, not touching the bacteria-infested hand grip on the ceiling of the bus, although, to be fair, it might have been hard for her to reach that grip anyway, but still, she stood there with the perfect balance of a tree rooted in healthy soil. She stood as if somebody had silently put the Venus de Milo on the bus, and she somehow fit perfectly without anyone noticing it happening. She was wearing a pair of earphones, wired, just like headphones were supposed to be, and a slight smile on her face. Sometimes she closed her eyes for a few moments, enjoying the music only she could hear. Her eyes rarely stayed in one place. They kept wandering around the bus, not too fast, like someone anxious, not too slow, like someone looking at something specific. Maybe she's the one, I thought. This isn't the first time a thought like this has crossed my mind, as a hopeless romantic seeing any woman who piques my interest will immediately trigger a story in my imagination. A story of how I'll approach them, get to know them, with the proviso that they're just as I imagined them to be. Start dating, get married, have kids, grow old in our home, and so on, and so on. Random cuties, that's what I call them. Unicorns among horses. The term doesn't apply to any cute girls, I see. Of course it has to be someone special, or at least someone I imagine to be special. The thing is, automatically imagining those stories whenever I happen across a random cutie isn't healthy. It puts a toll on my mind and, of course, my heart. It creates a lot of unhealthy expectations before any opportunities even arise. Oh shit! She looked at me. We made eye contact for a brief flash of a second. I was immediately returned to my book. Did she even notice me staring at her? Did she see what I was thinking? My mind won't stop spinning, overthinking, while my pulse beats double time in my ears. I continue staring at my book with what just happened. I obviously can't read it properly. My eyes were looking at the words, but nothing was being processed, other than thoughts of her. I glanced back at her, and she was staring at me. Eye contact more than once. It has to mean something. Should I approach her and introduce myself? Yes, I should. But what if things go wrong? What's the worst thing that could happen if we introduce ourselves? First, it's a crowded bus, and moving from the rear door to the front will definitely annoy some people. Second, what if after we approach her, she becomes annoyed and... Oh, come on. You're overthinking as usual. Nothing bad will happen, even if she does get annoyed. Don't dismiss me. Nothing bad will happen. Well, she might scream and say I'm a pervert, and then the whole bus will beat me to death. Oh, and the worst option, what if we introduce ourselves and then it returns out she's not like we imagined her to be? All that time and energy will be wasted, exchanged for years of agony. Oh, for everything will be fine. Don't worry so much. No matter what happens, second, we still have to try something first. No, there's too much at risk. The debate is still raging inside my head, and that's when it happens. We make eye contact again, but this time, it lasts longer than a few seconds. And then she smiled at me. Just a small curve on those perfectly average, beautiful lips. I quickly returned to my book. See, you have to do something. Typo? But I remember the girl with the violin we saw on the train to Yogyakarta? Yogyakarta? A few years ago. Of course I remember. Exactly. She was just a random person that sat across from you on the train. We don't even remember what month it was. And yet we still remember the maroon coat she was wearing. The violin case she put in the overhead compartment. Her reddish hair in that pixie cut. Her... Stop it. That was different. And we might have saved ourselves a lot of embarrassment by not talking to her. The thoughts, the noise, the internal dialogue, it won't stop. I was sweating, but not because of the heat, a cold sweat. This had to stop. Stop! I screamed internally. Everything stopped, and just in time my old iPod randomly shuffled to explosions in the spaces. The only moment we were alone. I cranked up the volume, but my book in my bag, and just breathed. Yes, I might lose the chance to meet the one by doing this, but at least, as long as I don't know her, she's perfect. As far as I know, she might be listening to explosions in the space. As far as I know, she might be a big fan of Harukami and Final Dreams 9. As far as I know, she might be single. As far as I know, she might be the 100% perfect match for me that I believe can't exist in my knowledge of her goes any farther than what I know right now. Besides, as the old saying goes, if it's meant to be, it will be. The bus stopped in front of Plaza Senayan, my destination. It was time for me to go. I decided not to look in her direction as I left, knowing that if I looked at her, it would be the last time I ever saw her. That's too hard for a hopeless romantic like me. I left the bus and enjoyed the warm sun and the breeze of fresh air. Finally out of that metal Schrodinger's box. That's when it happened. I turned my head to the right, and there she was, standing alone, enjoying the breeze now. She was free of the roasting metal box we humans named Buzz. She turned her head to the left, showing a glimmer of surprise. at seeing me standing there. After that, she smiled. So, if it's meant to be, it will be? Something we will never know, ladies and gentlemen. Something we can only experience a few times in life. Anyways, let me drink something. Let's continue. Wait, it was this, right? Come on, please. Ginger latte, serve. Here you go. Thanks. Damn, this is good. With this kind of drinking making skill, I wonder why your place isn't any bigger. What we have here now is more than enough for me. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. By the way, how are you doing, Baileys? Still busy with your last client? Oh, I'm done with her. Done? As in you're dropping the project? I'm not crazy. I still need the money. Done as in I finished the job. I spent the past few days making sure it's even done before the deadline. Did she like it? Oh, she loved it. She had some complaints, of course, but I convinced her by using some design terms she doesn't understand. So you finished your job by bullshitting her? The finest bullshit, my lady. That's one survival skill every freelancer must have. Are you working on anything right now? No. I'm taking a break from my work. I need to work on a few personal matters. Oh. Like you and Lua? Or something like that. By the way, I'm curious, how did you guys meet? If you don't mind me asking. I don't mind. It's just that I was young and stupid, you know. Oh, come on. Who hasn't been there? You're right. So, I was a bit of a player back in college. Oh, spicy. And I was going after my then best friend's girlfriend's friend. Wait, what? Okay, I'll say it slowly. I used to have a best friend. He was an incubus. Okay. Let's call him Gognek. Gognek has a girlfriend. Still following? And that girlfriend has a friend. The friend is the one I'm after. I already got it from the first time. I was like, I could say like I get it, but when I don't get it, it would suck. Oh, okay, got it. She was one of the hottest girls there, but even everyone knew she wasn't the type of girl you'd want to date. Why? I don't want to get into details, but the circle bus was super hot, and all the guys wanted to go sleep with her. She was a player too. Huh? That doesn't sound like Lua at all. Because it wasn't Lua, genius. Huh? Lua was my friend's girl. Holy moly. This is getting spicier. The other girl's name was... let's call her Rose. Continue. I knew Lua thanks to her relationship with Gognek. That's a fake name you made up, right? Yes. Now, will you let me continue without interruptions? Okay. So I asked Lua a lot of things about Rose. She knew what I was after. It annoyed her so much, but I kept on bothering her. I mean, I was pretty active guy, you know, back then. So Lua came over to visit us at one point. I lived with Gognek back in college. I'd been out and I got back just as Lua arrived. A total coincidence. We went into our place together and witnessed something surprising. What? Gognek was sleeping with Rose. Holy mother moly. I saw the look on Lua's face. The disbelief, anger, sadness. And without even thinking about it, I punched Gognek in the face. You what? I got into a fight with him. Oh, by the way, for the people that don't like it, Baileys. Punk been listening to Pumpkin Spice since I was a wee lad. What I'm doing with my life? Escaping bloodlines, experiencing life one color at a time. One day I will have my own solo exhibition. Ginger latte, yeah. I got into a fight with him. Oh, I haven't told you. Gagner was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu tutor for kids. He's pretty good. Oh my. Yeah, I landed that one punch. And he beat me to a pulp, easily. Lua begged me to stop fighting on her behalf. More like she begged Gognak. Hey, I wasn't kidding. I lost, but I didn't give up so easily. I was beaten pretty bad, so Lua took care of my injuries. We grew closer after that, and I don't even remember the exact date. But suddenly that friendship turned into a relationship. That was one hell of a story. I know. I know. Have you seen her by any chance? Yeah, Lua came here a few days ago. How was she doing? She hasn't returned any of my calls or texts. Well, she's healthy, that's for sure. She got into an argument though. With whom? There was this male model. A model? I didn't think she was the type of girl to go out with a model. Oh, they weren't together. What were they arguing about? Well, we were talking about your relationship. Lua told us the reason behind the fight, about your family stuff, and then this guy Hyde joined the discussion. What did he say? He didn't understand why Lua would insist on getting family approval, considering, you know. What? You're willing to leave your own family? You would do that for her? Yes, I would. I'm sick and tired of my family. Why would you say that? Let me tell you about my family. Or I should say, most elven families. They all think they're so high and mighty. If you're born an elf, there are certain unwritten rules you must follow. Reputation and appearance are everything. We must never ever make our family look bad. You can only befriend certain people, you must dress in a certain way, you can only have certain jobs that are deemed worthy and successful, like being a doctor, a lawyer, a CEO, you know. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be an artist. I love drawing and creating. However, becoming an artist is not something elves would consider suitable, unless you become the next Da Vinci. So when I switched from a business major to an art job, my parents went crazy, screamed like they were on fire. They told me that I'd never be rich or successful. All that because you chose an art degree? You want to know the worst part? They blamed Lua. What do you mean? They blamed her for my decision to pursue my passion for art. Yelled about how her kind is ruining their country, accusing their religion of worshipping the Dark Lord, accusing her of putting a spell on me and cursing the family. Whoa, I mean, come on, this is the 21st century. That's so not cool. I don't want to sound judgmental, but your family is racist. Tell me about it. Lua is the only person that I can make me feel alive. She showed me how I can be free and pursue my dreams. I don't understand why Lua is so obsessed with the idea of reconciliation with my family. I just don't get it. I have no problem leaving my family, you know. I would be happily leave them for the both of us. What about her? What about her and her family? You may be happy to leave your family. However, it may not be the same for her. Gayla, do you have something to say? Perhaps you could give us a different perspective. Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I couldn't help but overhearing your story. I mean, you're on the same bar, so... It makes sense. I'm also listening to the story. I assume that the person you're talking about is not an elf, correct? Yes, she's a succubus. I see. I'm a werewolf. For werewolves, the wolf pack is the most important thing. We'll put family before any other. We often have our own problems within the pack, but we don't abandon our family for anything. Perhaps that's also true for her and her family. Besides, if you leave your family for her, wouldn't that make your parents believe that all those bad stereotypes about succubi are true? I never thought of it that way before. Whatever you like it or not, your actions will have an impact on her as well. And if you leave your family for her, that will put her in a difficult spot. She might feel responsible for your actions. I mean, we kinda already read that, right? There's nothing to feel bad about. I'm leaving my messy family to create a better one with her. It's easy for you to say that now, but you don't know what the future holds. One day, circumstances might change. One day, one of you might regret your decision. One day, you might use the "I left my family for you" card. We love each other. I'll be with her whatever the circumstances may be. You know, love is like a flame. It might burn fiercely at first, but over time it will die down if you don't maintain it. Maintaining it won't be easy, it will be hard work. Because life is full of storms, and marriage will not survive on love alone. Whoa, that's deep. Well, we'll have each other, and that's enough for me. Tell me, do you have elf insurance? What? I'm an elf. Why would I need an elf insurance? You'll need some. What for? Immortality is an elfin privilege, but you'll lose it if your family disowns you. I've seen people go bankrupt because they fell ill or got seriously injured, emptied their entire life savings from an $8 pill because in this country they charge $20,000 for it. And if you decide to have children, they won't have the same privileges you do. There's a high probability that they'll get bullied for being a half-breed. There are consequences. It shouldn't be taken lightly. Think about it. Anyway, I've got to go. I apologize for my intrusion. No, thank you for your insight. I've got to go too. Want to head out together? Sure. Thanks for the drink, Tycho. And Freya. Bye. Damn, deep conversation. What? You made me lose 2 customers in 1 minute. Hey, that wasn't on me. They were leaving anyway. Are you going to write that in your book? It's a secret. If your book is based on this coffee shop, how can you present a story like theirs in a world with only humans around? I'm not sure. Perhaps a hot drink will give you some inspiration. Sounds like a great idea. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification bell and come back to our channel tomorrow. Now it is time to sleep. Now it is in the midnight. Or it's not. But anyways, if you do watch this in the midnight, because midnight chillings, I certainly hope you enjoy it. And I can only wish you one thing, and that's all the best and a very good night. Good night. Good night. Till tomorrow. Bye bye.